Rolling audio.
Holy
Sorry.
That was so loud. That was so loud. I want to cry.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. I didn't mean for it to be loud.
I think my eyes are tearing up. I don't know why.
Are you okay?
Yeah, that was just really scary.
Here,
I cut my own bangs again. And this time I think it worked out. I'm learning.
Yeah.
Quarantine skills. Hi guys, I'm Anna.
And I'm Brian.
And we are Those Annoying Vegans!
Thank you for joining us for yet another video. As always, we want to start off the video by thanking all of our patrons on Patreon. You guys are amazing. You donate to the channel, and keep in mind that all of our Patreon donations go directly towards our animal rescue fund. And the proceeds from all of our sales on Etsy also go into that same fund. So when an animal needs to go to the vet, or there's an emergency, we need to bring an animal home, we need to care for them.
Much like we did with Betty and Kate and Bubbles. And now Jackie. Yeah. And as of very recently, Antonio and Fireru. And here are the ways you can still help contribute towards their medical care. We are so grateful to those of you who already have. Buy some stickers. We know you love stickers. They're new on our Etsy store, so check them out.
Very easy form of animal rights activism.
Yes.
And we're not going to tell you to vandalize property by putting stickers on it with vegan messages. We're not going to tell you to take your stickers and put them places where people will see them a lot, especially if that property is not yours. We're not telling you to do that.
Also keep in mind that all our shirts on our Etsy store will be discontinued until further notice when they're sold out. We also wanted to give a shout out to Steps to Rise Psychology. These are doctors, two wonderful women. One of them I grew up with in Costa Rica and is vegan. And we were talking about how vegan people's mental health is often overlooked. I think we overlook it. Other people certainly overlook it. I don't know that many people know how to deal with the grief, the confusion, the hopelessness, all those feelings that come along with being vegan and being an activist. And I think it's really helpful to have someone on your team who is a professional, who might empathize with you on that, rather than, you know, we often look to memes for self-healing. It's not always the best idea, especially if you are scrolling through social media, which in and of itself gives a lot of people anxiety. So give them a follow. They just opened the first virtual interdisciplinary clinic for addiction and mental health. So wherever in the world you are, if you need to speak to someone, please reach out to them.
So on to today's video. We had it would be an interesting, if it's grammatically correct. We had an interesting experience recently that we wanted to share with you guys. We were at this sanctuary event, and there was a plant-based food tasting of sorts going on, and I overheard someone who was tasting this like sauce, this dipping sauce, say, "Oh, this would go really well on chicken." I was surprised. I was just walking by and I overheard it. And I was thinking to myself, well, that's weird. Does she mean like plant-based chicken with the apostrophe? Like Gardein or something? Maybe she's saying that it would go nice with like a plant-based chicken. Although I still thought it was odd.
Yeah, usually I think vegans are very careful to clarify those kinds of things.
Yeah. Like you'd say like a plant-based chicken strips or plant-based chicken nuggets or something like that.
Or the brand name.
Fast forward to her spotting us with Jackie. We were carrying Jackie around, and Anna asked if she wanted to hold Jackie.
Yeah, she showed interest. She was like, who's that? You know, and we introduced her. So she held her and petted her, and she was just enthralled by her. And she was commenting on how sweet she was, etc., etc. And then she said, "It almost makes me feel bad for all those chicken nuggets."
And again, we were confused. She was being so gentle and loving and caressing and like fawning over Jackie. So I was thinking to myself, like, maybe she's vegan and she's talking about all those chicken nuggets that she ate.
That she used to eat.
Before she went vegan.
In the past. But I think I asked her, or I forget which one of us asked her, wait, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah,
you mean
you
chicken?
don't still eat chicken.
Yeah, I think that's what we said.
Yeah. But she said, no, I do still eat chicken. And she called herself the resident carnivore. I'm the resident carnivore here at this vegan event. And she went on to tell us how warm and inviting and accepting everyone has been since she started coming to this sanctuary. She also went on to say that holding Jackie is going to make her feel more grateful for the next time she chooses to pay someone to slit the throat of an innocent living being, just like Jackie. Mind you, Jackie was on a slaughter truck headed to a slaughterhouse to be killed for someone's grateful chicken like this woman would have purchased 2 years ago.
We told her the story too.
It wasn't until Jackie was rescued at the 11th hour that she was then able to live a life free from harm and exploitation.
So of course I dove into some Socratic Method and had a brief conversation about why she chooses to kill, not necessarily in these words, kill chickens needlessly. And she mentions that she tries to purchase humane, which right off the bat, you know, what do you mean you try to purchase humane? What's try? Again, what's
strange.
try? You try to purchase humane. And so I asked her about the definition of humane. I made sure to tell her, listen, we were both there.
Mm-hmm.
We used to think that humane was, it meant free from pain and suffering, as if that justified taking the life of an animal who doesn't want to die. This was all while she was holding Jackie. She seemed a little closed off, you know, sort of very, very going along with the pleasantries of the conversation, but not necessarily engaging.
Right.
And, you know, we were
She
being
didn't seem
very...
open.
Yeah, open.
It was sort of like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
And she was nice. She wasn't, you know, taken aback or reacting negatively in any way. She was just like, I think she was enjoying her moment with Jackie and sort of like ahhing everything. So I'm not sure if she was ready to embrace these new ideas and just wanted to stay in her comfort zone. In the whole, I am in the company of vegans at a vegan sanctuary surrounded by rescued animals who have been rescued from the very industries that I still pay for. And I'd like to feel that vegans are okay with that.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if people who are morally opposed to what I do are just okay with me continuing to do it? This very interaction is what inspired this video, because this is why staying honest, staying truthful, not budging from your ethics, not bowing to public opinion, not being a doormat vegan, this is why these behaviors are important.
This is why. Of course, we want everyone to visit a sanctuary and to have a wonderful experience and connect with the animals and perhaps enjoy plant-based food and see these victims for the persons that they are. But there should be a bit of pressure, don't you think, to stop contributing to the violence that vegans are trying to put an end to, particularly if you are surrounded by other vegans.
And other animals that have been rescued from slaughter.
That's why at this particular sanctuary and many others, animal-based products are not permitted out of respect for the animals. Primarily the animals, but I'd also say, you know, it's nice that vegans have a place to go to be around other people who share the same values and not have to feel uncomfortable, because we experience that out here every day. Now keep in mind, vegan sanctuaries should be a place of love and kindness and acceptance, a respite and escape for the animal victims of our society. Vegan sanctuaries are intended to make the animals feel safe and comfortable.
It was clear to us that this individual had been speaking with many other vegans that day, and we just kind of had to wonder whether or not any of them had challenged her behavior in a polite, civil way. As Anna said, Socratic Method, ask questions. It's polite, it's kind, it's a vegan sanctuary. It's actually the appropriate environment to do so. More so than just sitting next to someone on a bus bench. You know what I mean? Like, this is a vegan sanctuary.
It should be expected.
It's expected that veganism is going to come up. We wonder if anyone else that day had asked her why she would never eat a dog, but she would eat a chicken. You know, we wonder if anyone had asked her if she ever tries to buy humane dog meat, or why she thinks that her taste pleasure is so superior to an innocent being's life. Again, as we always say, just replace the victim. Imagine if she was holding a puppy, and while holding the puppy was telling you about how she likes to eat puppies, because keep in mind, chickens, they are killed for meat at 6 weeks old. They're
babies.
Factually babies. These are baby chickens. And if she was holding a puppy saying, well, I do eat puppies, but holding this one puppy is going to make me more grateful for the next puppy that I choose to murder because I like to eat puppies. And I love that all these people around me are making me feel so comfortable and accepted for my puppy eating.
Grateful.
I mean, that
What does that mean? It's selfish. I mean, grateful.
Yeah.
It's like, does it matter to the animals if you're grateful or not?
And I mean, imagine if it were put into the human context, if she was holding a human baby. It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's not that difficult to challenge people's inconsistencies in their moral framework simply by asking questions.
That's why we love activists like That Vegan Couple, Earthling Ed, Hudson Tarlow, Joey Carbstrong. The point is to ask questions for the other person to then come up with the answer themselves, rather than you standing there and just spitting out facts. The conversation doesn't really take form if you're just, you can throw in facts, but step 1, step 2, step 3, think of it as an outline.
And people are more likely to believe their own thoughts than other people's thoughts. So by asking a question, you're allowing that person to come to a conclusion in their own brain, and then it's a smart idea. Versus if it's coming from you, bad idea. But if it comes from me, good idea.
You know, we've made a few videos about language and why language is so important and why facts matter more than feelings. And everyone, vegans and non-vegans, should be free to use our free speech so long as we're not actively harming someone else. You decide how you take in information. You decide how to react to it. Ask yourself, why is it that I'm reacting this way? What is it about what was said? Why am I so bothered by this random person on Instagram that I don't know? We're more than sure that many people's feelings are going to continue to get hurt as we transition into a vegan society. That's just part of any major social change.
Yeah, I would say more than likely when women were given the right to vote, when people of color were given equal rights, when members of the LGBTQ community were given the right to marry here in the United States, we're sure many people with bad ideas probably got their feelings hurt. And that's okay. Because giving those rights to those individuals was the right thing to do. And living a vegan lifestyle and inspiring others to live a vegan lifestyle is also the right thing to do. For these individuals, yes, we've helped these individuals. Now we're trying to help these individuals. Because we're all sentient beings. We all feel pain, we all feel love, we all want to live our lives free from harm. And don't get us wrong, we're not saying go forth and be assholes. That's not what we're saying. Though some of you may edit this clip out of context. It'll probably happen. I mean, if you want to go be an asshole, that of course is your choice. Be prepared for some pushback, of course, because free speech does not equal free from consequences speech. We are ready for the pushback that we will receive when we do our vegan activism. We're ready for it, we prepare for it.
We're used to it.
And we're used to it. But as we always say, speak up for these victims the way that you would want someone speaking up for you.
We might never see that young woman again. That could have been our only chance to plant a seed in her heart. We don't know if anyone else did. We hope they did. And if she comes back, we hope they continue to do so. But never leave an opportunity unused. Never let that go to waste. Yes, it may be uncomfortable, especially at first, especially if you're not used to these kinds of exchanges, if you're more on the introverted side, like I am. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes on screen. It tends to happen that way, I think. It might be uncomfortable to challenge others in a civil conversation, but it must be done. It may also be uncomfortable to not engage in a conversation like this and then play it back in your mind over and over. I wish I had said this, or why didn't I say that? That's uncomfortable too. And that's likely to sit with you for longer than I said what I should have said, and maybe that upset them, but it's out there now. But ultimately, what's more uncomfortable? a conversation like this or living a life like this. So that's it for this video, guys. We obviously want to hear your thoughts, how you might have handled a situation like this, or if you've been presented with situations like this and what you did. Please share those in the comments below. We will see you next time.
As Captain America said, standing there like a tree and saying, no, you move. You know, not bowing down.
He didn't say that.
He did in the comics.
Oh, he did in the
I know
comics.
Sharon Carter said it in the movie.
Here, I thought I was being... I know.
I love where your head's at. I love where your head's at. That was awesome. They took his quote from the comics and gave it to Sharon Carter, but I love you.
I love you too.
You're worth it to